Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Well, it's very important to note that this Delta variant is much more contagious than the original strain. In fact, it could be up to 60% more contagious, meaning that if you have the same interaction with somebody who has COVID-19, you are that much more likely to get it. It's really important that everybody who is unvaccinated really double down on their efforts to make sure that they are protected.
Okay, but that's not going to work for some people. It's not going to do it. And I say this, guys, because I love choice. People have choice, right? People want their choice. And that choice is, now we're at the point where, okay, at the beginning of this thing, when it was out of control, did we have to have more caution than we do now? Yeah, because you have the choice to go get vaccinated, and others have the choice now not to get vaccinated. So you've protected yourself. And for other people, they've gone out and they just say, I'm going to get it. I might not get it. I don't know. And now there's something coming that's more scary. It's Delta. It's 60% more contagious. 60% more contagious. Okay, but you've been vaccinated. So if you've been vaccinated, it doesn't matter what somebody else has done, right? Like, that's, to me, totally what it's all about. You've decided to do this for yourself, to get vaccinated. There's a group of people, and we've been saying it since the beginning of the vaccination season, if you will, that are never going to get vaccinated. Doesn't matter what you do. You can give stuff away. You can offer people all kinds of things. You can dangle some sort of carrot out there to see if you can get them to do it. And guess what? It's not working in a lot of places. Less than 1% growth in vaccination rates, places like North Carolina, who are dangling something. Because those people out there wholeheartedly believe that this is either a joke, some conspiracy theory, even though it's serious, they don't trust the vaccine. Something in their mind says don't get it. So we get on with our lives. Learn to live with this thing, through this thing, around this thing, and eventually above this thing, which is what most people are doing. Over time, that may see an increase for some people. But right now, we're trying to get that 15 to 18% of people who don't trust the vaccine, who don't trust the media, to buy into something that they're just not going to do.
Now we need to think about trying to push out the vaccine into community sites where people could get it delivered to them through a trusted intermediary. That's going to mean doctors' offices, schools, places of employment. We need to think about a different vaccine delivery strategy to get the people who are still reluctant or who still face challenges getting into those access sites. I think there's vaccine administration is going to decline over the summer as prevalence declines. People aren't going to be seeking out a vaccine in July and August. But as people contemplate going back to school and back to work in the fall, they will be seeking out vaccines.
Will they? Some people might. Again, you get past that point where you're, 8 months, 9 months, a year into something. Some people might go, well, it's okay. Nobody's turned into a plant. It's okay that nobody is all of a sudden being controlled by some sort of robot controller like Skynet, forcing you to do something for the government. But there's a group of people that are just not going to do this. And I think we need to understand that going forward. And this is where your state, your local counties, municipalities come in, as well as the federal side of things. At some point, this just has to be, they've chosen not to do it. We're going to move on with life. Let's stop treating this thing as if it's the airborne 1980s version of HIV, the Ebola virus, where everybody has got to stay away from it. He freaks out. At this point, we need to start treating this thing as this is just something that's a part of what we do now. Let's not limit ourselves. Because I'm seeing it, Okay, cruisers are going to take off. Everybody's got to have a vaccine. If you're going to a different country, they may ask you to have one. Nothing I can do there. But if you've been vaccinated, what do you care if somebody else hasn't been vaccinated? You could get it. It's a possibility. But I've done everything in my power to what? To try to mitigate the chances of me getting it. It's just not a lot you can do. And I think we need to start moving forward and living as if this is just part of what it is, and it's time to get past it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from all of you. Inflation, kids, do you see it? Do you smell it? Do you feel it?
You know, you see it throughout the economy right now, and the big problem that I see is that the inflation seems to be accelerating from where we were a couple of months ago. Some of those increases in gasoline prices, in meat prices, in food prices. I tried to get an airline ticket last week to take a summer vacation later this summer, and I saw sticker shock. I mean, prices had gone up by 50%.
Yeah. Stephen Moore right there, former Trump advisor, especially when it comes to the economy. Things have gone up. There's a lot of different things. You've got stagflation happening in some areas. You've got a lot of people who've had some money sitting around now getting back in the economy. You've also had issues that has to do with the weather, issues that had to do with the pipeline, issues that had to do with several different things, lumber being one of those things, the insanity of which lumber took off. And, of course, the cost of fuel. Why? Well, it's not just the fact that we just don't have enough. We can't get it from point A to point B. So all of those things add up. Plus, we've had continuing borrowing, and the way that it works is you got the Treasury and the Feds. One prints money, the other tries to control the monetary policy and the inflation. And banks right now love to go and borrow cheap because they can. And if they're borrowing cheap, they're lending cheap. Tons of money out there. But eventually, with the sell on the bonds, quantum easing, they're going to have to start printing some more money. All of that stuff's real. Makes things more expensive. This was coming for a long time. The question is, can it be slowed? That's a real question.
Gas 56%, used cars 30%, laundry 27%, airfare 24%. There are signs it's real.
This is a real hardship for lower and middle income people and seniors who are living on fixed incomes. I call it the Biden tax.
Yeah. Now, I can't blame it all on Biden, but how he responds to it will be how he is remembered. How he responds to it will be how 2022 and the midterms go. If inflation continues to spike, again, not all of this is his fault. He can't control the weather as much as everybody like to think that somehow magically that leaders can control the weather. What took place in certain places, especially when it comes to the meat market, chicken and other things, there's just nothing you could do. He didn't cause a bunch of people who were truck drivers to essentially leave the industry or switch over because of what took place last year and people not driving. And so a fallout when it comes to the people that take it from point A to point B, the fuel. But there are ways that he can go and help this thing forward. But how this plays itself out will be how 2022 goes, which is, of course, going to be potentially a referendum on two things. Either the way that Biden's doing things, and normally, midterms, what ends up happening? One party is in full power. And in midterms, everybody says, nah, we give you guys something. You did some stuff. We're feeling like maybe you're overreaching. And I think that's the battle that's going on right now between the Democrats and Republicans when it comes to the filibusters. Get rid of the filibusters. Get rid of the filibusters. Get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. And the battle that happens there is, I think, fairly simplistic, which is you're trying to stop your party from overreaching, but still trying to get stuff done. But if you do overreach, you know eventually the American people are going to go, nah, we gave you a chance. You overreached. Now what? But how this handles itself when it comes to inflation will be how the party goes. On the other side, this will also be a referendum on Trump. If the Republicans take back the Senate and the House by decent margins, I think people are going to look up and go, well, Trump's working. If they don't, I think the Republicans will go, all right, well, we'll take some of his message and we'll leave the rest here. But it starts now. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Sad news over the weekend.
Hey, champ, you want to play golf? Well, where's the golf club? Well, go get the golf club. Well, go get the golf club.
It's about the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, go get the golf club. All right, watch this. Okay, let's go get it. Let's get the golf club.
Champ died. That's right. He died. Now, this is the one I think, is this the one that bites? Maybe we figured out why Champ bit. Or is it Major? Not quite sure. Champ was 13 years old, passed away. So we've had a death in the White House, but it has nothing to do with humans. So Major is still alive. Champ has passed away, age 13. R.I.P. Champ. Like Ricky Schroeder said at Bassman, don't die, Champ. But he did. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Hope all was well. Hope you had a good Father's Day. Had a great Father's Day. Very relaxing family. Hung out, barbecued, swam a little bit. Very nice. Very, very nice. Raycons, very nice. Summer is here. And I tell you what, it's here big time out here. It is hot. So are the deals with Raycons. The best earbuds around. Sound quality's awesome. The noise isolating fit separates it. And I don't have to worry about things like, I was sitting there talking the other day about the fact that I do a lot of editing and do a lot of different stuff. And I like the fact that I can take my control with my Raycons. I can take these earbuds down to virtually just very little sound. The control is so easy. And in doing so, I like the way editing that low. First of all, my ears are very sensitive. And secondly, it cuts through in such a way. That's why I love my Raycons. No wires, no stems. The working out is great. I never have to worry about them falling out or getting in my way. It's just awesome. Different colors. The carrying case is great. 24 hours of charge time, meaning your case is charged up. You carry it around. You just put your earbuds back, and you have to worry about taking it in the house, charging it all up. It's awesome. Price point that is incredible. Starts well under $100. Save an extra 15% right now. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. 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 Chad Benson Show.
Don't make me wear your mask. Are you trying to kill me? What happens if you have corona?
No need to socially distance while listening to your Chad Benson Show podcast. 4 out of 5 experts say so.
I'm a scientist. There is no corona.
But hurry before they change their mind. You know they will. Chad's podcast found on iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite COVID-free podcasts.
Oh my gosh. I kind of like it, I'm not gonna lie.
This is the Chad Benson Show.
They are offering millions and millions of sales. Amazon alone is offering more than 2 million sales. Then, of course, Target is offering hundreds of thousands of sales. They're online only, so that's interesting to know about Target. Walmart is promising Black Friday level deals.
I don't know why I have to bring race into everything. So I was talking to producer Phil and Anthony before we were so rudely interrupted by those spots. My goodness me. The insanity of which you can purchase things and the price is just so awesome. How amazing is it? Honestly, how awesome is it to be in a situation where you can buy stuff at a level that is so incredibly cheap, where other people are still trying to figure out how to get electricity? We're like, hey, would you like a 9,000-inch TV for a nickel? Boy, would I. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. It's like 65-inch TV for like $300. Stick your old TV out and just toss it. I don't care. This thing sucks. It's incredible. Oh my Lord. Doesn't matter what you're looking for, right? From vitamins to women's dresses to the Roomba, because there's another thing that is so first world. Hey, you sick of vacuuming? Yeah. Get a robot to do it. Okay. It's not going to do a good job, but it might. You don't know. It's just going to go in circles. Just do its thing. The best thing that will come out of it is your cat will get on top of it. It's the best thing. Oh, goodness me. Lots of deals. Super big deals. Like
things that you need for your home, those regular things that you order every month, or something you've had your eye on that's a little bit above your budget, maybe a good time to look at those things as well. So what I would really suggest is that consumers create a list of things that they need, those basics, and then also maybe some gifts that they have coming up, and then tackle the sales in that way.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at some of this stuff is insane. It really is. I am loving every second of it. To say that I would be purchasing. Oh, Chad, you're not going to purchase today. Oh, I am. I'm waiting till this afternoon. Spread my legs a little bit. Sit down. I know what I'm looking at. I've already got put away. So, but there's other stuff that I had no idea, and I was like, oh God, I got to get this stuff. These deals are massive.
Don't take a sale price at face value. So as you're going online or in the stores and you find something that's on sale, use a savings tool to see if you can save even more. Like cash back is one of my favorite ways to save this way. There's a site called couponcabin.com, and they have cash back plus maybe extra exclusive discounts that will be unique to them on these days.
Wow, it's incredible. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. Your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program, get your deals. Big time. And I like the fact that here's the beauty of competition, right? We talk about these monopolies and all of this stuff, but here's the beauty of the competition. Monopolies or not, because the reality is there's plenty of competition out there. So you got Walmart, you got Target battling it out with the likes of Amazon. Prices are they're stocking them deep and selling them cheap. That's incredible. Sign me up. Please do. You know what I don't want you to sign me up for? The Olympics. We're going to touch on the Olympics, but yes, this weekend they've decided 10,000 local fans will be allowed to go to the Olympics and watch the Olympics. 10,000 local fans. When you get the Olympics, right, when you bid on this thing and you get this crappy thing now, because that's what it's become for these countries. Oh, the sports and the competition may be great and the storylines are fine, but for the nations, it's usually a lost leader anymore for trying to bring people there. And it's incredible the amount of hoops you have to jump through. Well, they're going to have people there, but it's only going to be locals. I'm sure they didn't think of that when they bid on it. Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
And what Republican legislatures and governors are doing in the most disgraceful way imaginable is to try to deny people of color, young people, poor people, the right to vote, people with disabilities. That is outrageous. You know, we can disagree on all kinds of issues, but taking away the right of people to participate in American democracy is unacceptable, and the Congress must address that in any and every way.
Okay. I agree that we should never take away anybody's right to vote. Unless, of course, they've lost that right. But in saying all of that, let's go back to what he just said. So people of color, apparently they can't vote with some of this new legislation. They're making it harder to vote. Well, no, what they're doing is they're taking away the convenience of mail-in voting. So it make it harder. In some places, yeah, they've made it a little bit harder to vote. But the disingenuousness of some of the reporting is insane. So it's a headline over the weekend. 100,000 voters face being purged from voter rolls in Georgia. And CNN's got this headline and data. They just go through this whole thing about 101,789 potential voters are going to be purged from the roll. Purged. You know, like the from the movie. So purged from the roll. Oh, my God. It must be all black people. Right? It's all people of color. It's going to be all people who are disabled. So you read this thing about how hard it is now to vote, the voter ID, and all we can discuss this all day, but I just want to show you the disingenuousness of the voting BS. All right? I want you guys to get an understanding of how it's tough and tougher every single day to believe anything anybody in the media says half the time, because it's just crap, okay? And then you get stuff like this, Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom.
Let's hope this works.
We've got to tell them.
The America you know doesn't exist in our future. Democracy is dead. We have no voice. The regime watches our every move.
It started when voter suppression ran wild all over America. The voting rights bills died in the Senate. Polling places closed. We lost our right to vote.
This future doesn't have to be. Save democracy while you can.
Yeah, that's the crap, right, that you get. So I go and I read through all this stuff. So 102,000 basically being purged. Purged. Oh, my God, purged. They've taken these people from the roles of the voter and have purged them in ways that are wrong. How many of them are actually voting right now? Well, let's take a look here. Almost 68,000 submitted change of address forms. Okay. Almost 35,000. Well, they sent him stuff saying, do you still want to be here? Are you still part of this? We haven't been able to contact you, but whatever it is, return to sender. Return to sender. Yeah. And about 276 that have just essentially disappeared. So out of all of those, how many of them are people who are just change of address, different state? Is it possible that people would move? It is possible. No way. Yeah, it is possible. I moved from California to Arizona. Been here 4 years now. California, Arizona. California, Arizona. Change of address, did the whole 9 yards. California still sent a ballot out to, and ended up at my mom's house. I have no idea why. I was like, it just shows you, though, how full of crap it is. Look, can we make it easier for people to vote? Absolutely. Should we make it easier for people to vote? I think we should make it easier on the day. I have no problem with absentee voting, and I think mail-in voting is not as fraught with evil as some people would like to think. But it just shows you, though, that this is more about the lip service than the actual process itself. This is more about how can I tell you what kind of victim you are and how you need to wake up. They can't get an ID. I go back to why can't you get an ID? You can. They just think you can't. Oh, yeah. You think? Yes, I know. I love when people say, oh, Chad, you just don't understand. It's asking somebody for an ID is very, what? What is it very? It's very what? Just, I'm curious. What is it? Why can't you get an ID? You can. In fact, 99.9% of people who are over the age of 18 have some form of ID. In many places, it's kind of required. But they make it seem like asking people for my ID, you might as well just ask them what country they come from. It's just so stupid. Yes, are the Republicans doing what, and by the way, is their right to do, being as they're the party in power in these states? Do I think some of these things are reaction and overreacting? Yeah, I think there's some issues there you can look at. But overall, don't believe the hype. It's a bunch of crap. It really is. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every one of you. In the world of insanity, we discussed a little bit last week. We live in this bizarre world of everybody's basically, unless you're a cis white person, mostly male, your entire goal in life is to suppress and make everybody a victim. That's it. That's what it is. But even now, people of color are upset because people of other color didn't give everybody else the opportunity to be in their story. And it's no win. We touched on it last week. Right? So Lin-Manuel Miranda, Hamilton, it's got the Into the Heights movie. People came after him because his movie, which has no white people in it, didn't have enough dark-skinned or black Latinos in it. So he has to come out and apologize. And this is the crap that you've got to stop doing.
Reading also about Lin-Manuel Miranda, he of Hamilton fame. He's got a new musical, The Heights, which is about Washington Heights. He wrote the music and lyrics. His parents are Puerto Rican. It got 96% Rotten Tomatoes. People loved it, for which he has apologized profusely. Why? Well, there's Latinx performers, one black lead, but no Afro Latinx. Please stop the apologizing. You're the guy who made the founding fathers black and Hispanic. I don't think you have to apologize to Twitter.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because some people are out there saying, well, you didn't represent me. You don't get to be represented in everything. You don't. Because it may not be your story. It may not be your story, but it doesn't matter. I remember when Colin Quinn said, why does it have to be a Mexican in your true story? Because that's the world we live in now. It has to be a certain way. You have to check all of these boxes and don't leave anybody out at all. Don't leave anybody out. Just throw the smallest net you can find to make sure that everybody is checked off. Even if the story doesn't match the reality of it, it doesn't matter. And that's BS.
This is why people hate Democrats. It's cringy. Obviously, he felt it was important enough for him to make this apology. Do I think he really thinks he should apologize? I don't. He just wants to avoid the news cycle. I don't blame him. You know, I understand this. But at some point, people are going to have to stand up to these bullies because that's what it is. It's just bullying. I can make you crawl like a dog, and I enjoy it. I mean, he's a Latino making a Latino movie with a Latino cast. Not good enough.
Exactly. Because if it's not good enough, nothing will ever be good enough. Nothing will. People look for this stuff every day. They wake up looking to be offended. They wake up looking to be angry. They wake up looking to be microaggressed. They wake up looking to be offended. And they troll the interwebs looking for something. Who didn't do what? Who didn't say the thing they were supposed to? Who said something X amount of years ago? Last week we were making fun of the whole getting rid of the angels, right? Getting rid of the angels. So Victoria's Secret's going to get rid of the angels, and they're going to go to a more diverse group of people. And we touched on this a little bit last week. And Megan Rapinoe is going to be one of the people that is going to do it. Soccer star, lesbian, activist, yada, yada, yada. We'll go through the whole thing. Hell of a player. I'm not going to deny that. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, is a tweet that she had from like 8 years ago or some ridiculousness like this. And I started laughing. I'm thinking, somebody held on to something. Somebody searched something. Somebody went and found something. To put that out there at the right time when this person's finally gotten to the point where, okay, you know what? She's everywhere. She's got all this. This is the time. Guy goes to make his first major league start. As he's walking to the mound, all of a sudden, hey, here's a tweet when he was 9 years old. We found something. Let's do it. Or here's something he said while he was playing a video game with his buddies when he was 11. This is insane and it needs to stop. But when you continue to do stuff like, I'm sorry, like if you've done something real that hurts somebody in particular, you apologize. Of course. What needs to happen is people who are looking to go after people for no other reason other than they feel like they have the power to do so. And because too many corporations have bent over backwards, allowing a small group to do that, that's sad. That's sad. Those are the people that should be apologizing to everybody else. Stop screwing with everybody. If something really bad happens, that's one thing. If you feel that a tweet that somebody made 6, 8, 10 years ago has somehow hurt you, I ask you again, show me on the doll where the tweet hurt you. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Do love hearing from every single one of you. I do. Rough Greens, my dog Doodle. I love Doodle. I'm going to tell you guys this right now. He's crazy, he's bouncy, he's happy. It's the K9 Vitasmart. We were talking last night about how he is so much fluffier than he used to be. How he is his entire, he's just in a better place than he's ever been. And it's K9 Vitasmart. It's got vitamins, minerals, vegetables. It's got all these amazing things that brings his food to life. Supplement, you put it on top. But his coat, he feels like a puppy. When we first got him, it was kind of wiry and nasty. I mean, he was beat up, man. He was ugly. Now he's just ugly, but he's soft. And I love him that way. K9 Vitasmart's awesome. Rough Greens has an amazing deal right now. You just pay for shipping. They're going to send you a bag for free. Put it to the test. His joint pain is gone. His arthritic hips are virtually, he does things that he's never done. I saw him the other day try to catch a rabbit. And it was awful, but it was hilarious because he couldn't catch it. But he would never have done that 2 years ago. RUFFgreens.com/Chad, roughgreens.com/Chad. You go there, you pay for shipping. They send you a bag for free. You call 877-MY-DOG-77. Simple and easy. But RUFFgreens.com/Chad. You go there, you get yourself a free bag, pay for shipping. But when you go there, you can see what Doodle looks like. And see my other dog, Red, too. Great dog, puppy. His life's amazing. His coat's awesome. He's also on Rough Greens. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
Helen Keller is a Nazi terrorist that is a male. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of Hitler?
Who's Hitler?
Vaccines work, but only the Chad Benson Show is 100% effective against stupidity.
Do you know what D-Day is? D-Day.
In person? A rapper?
God, Karen, you are so stupid.
Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and wherever you find your favorite woke-free podcasts. This is the Chad Benson Show.
Let's go do what we do.
It's the #1 debut for The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. The action comedy sequel earned $11.6 million in 6 months over the weekend at what it's made since its Wednesday opening, and you've got a $17 million pound.
There's nothing left.
That knocks A Quiet Place Part 2 back into second place, another $9.4 million there. They'd better enjoy the wins while they can.
Crank it all the way up.
F9 will likely suck all of the air out of the room when it opens next weekend.
Yeah, you think? Man, you can't watch anything. I'm watching golf yesterday. And where is it? It's F9. It's like, it doesn't matter. It is everywhere. It was crazy. I'm like, it's going to be huge. And F9 is dominating. They've already got F10 ready. People are like, why would they do so many? Why wouldn't you? Like, that's just it. Like, it's a money-making machine. Now, I don't get it. I'll be completely honest with you. I like Hobbs and Shaw, but I didn't get, I'm not big, but part of it is I'm not a big car guy. I don't like car chases in movies. I think they're kind of boring. I mean, they're very formulaic, but a lot of people love them. And that's their thing. And this thing is going to crush everybody next week. I mean, it is going to crush. Right now, it's made $300 million, and it's not opened up here. In a marketplace that is struggling still, it's made $300 million. That's crazy. Quiet Place 2, by the way, is made worldwide $221 million on a budget that's not a lot. Even The Conjuring, people are like, why did they make a movie like that? Because it's made $150 million on a budget that probably wasn't more than 30. Keep going back to the well. Number one movie this year is Hi, Mom. It's a movie you've never heard of. A woman travels back in time to befriend her own mother in an attempt to make her life better. I think it's a Chinese movie. I'm going to go out there and say that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Did watch golf this weekend. And it was awesome. Jon Rahm, who 3 weeks ago at the Memorial came off the 18th tee with a 6-stroke lead heading into the final round on Sunday, destroying everybody, was told he had COVID and that he had to drop out. And yesterday, he won a major, the U.S. Open.
I'm still a little bit on golf mode, right? I feel like when I'm in that mode, it takes me a while to get out of it. It probably won't happen tonight. It might happen tomorrow. I don't know. At some point, it'll hit me. But I'm still thinking that there might be a playoff. I don't know. I've been scarred before, so it's incredible that I'm sitting next to this trophy.
Yep, he had his little baby there that's about 4 months old, 3-4 months old, named Kepa, and said he doesn't know what's going on, but he's going to one day. And it was awesome to watch yesterday. He birdied the last 2 holes to beat Louis Oosthuizen, who kind of melted down. Everybody did, but not John. John just kept playing steady, and it was great to see. He's a good dude in golf. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
A return to normal. Concerts back at Madison Square Garden for the first time in 15 months. The Foo Fighters playing a sold-out concert Sunday night, part of the admission to attend, proof of vaccination. Inside, no social distancing, no masks. New York's positivity rate at 0.3%.
Positively awesome. Dave Chappelle got up on stage, rocked out with him as well. Life's back, baby. It is. That's a wonderful thing. Time to live where? Now above it. We lived with it, through it, around it. Now we live above it. Time to get back to living life. Think about how blessed we are for a moment. If you could take 10 seconds and think about where we are comparatively to so many other people in the world, even westernized first world nations who still are slow in getting the vaccine out. We're kicking butt for the nightmare that we became. And let's be real, so much of that was politics. To where we are now, this is huge. Are we where we want to be? Of course not. We'd like this thing to be gone, like everybody have immunity towards it. Will we get there eventually? Nah, just like with the flu. I don't think we ever will get there as long as this thing is here. I think they'll always have some form of little flare-ups and breakouts in certain places. Of course, they talk about the new Delta variant. It's the most dangerous thing in the history of dangerous things. But we've done a damn good job at administering this vaccine.
President Biden said 70% of American adults by July 4th. He will miss that.
Well, look, the administration set a stretch goal, and they're going to miss it by a little. I think as a practical matter from a public health standpoint, it's not going to have an impact whether we hit 68% or 70%. The reality is we are vaccinating a large portion of the American population. We have to remember where we started and where we are right now. It took us a full month to fully vaccinate the 1.34 million residents of nursing homes. In the next 5 months, we vaccinated 300 million people. We delivered 300 million vaccines.
Yeah, we're sitting good. Dr. Gottlieb right there. We are. There's a group of people. We've talked about it. You've got the atheists and the agnostics. You've got the people that will never, ever, 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 get this. And then you've got the people that are waiting. They want to see what it looks like. They want to give it a little bit more time. It's a shock that something got through all of the hurdles in a quick time period when we know how long it takes to create a vaccine, a medicine. We get that. And nobody in this day and age is going to go, well, is this really, like, should we really be worried about it? They go when they look, and this, if you're honest with yourself, you're just like, two things you should learn from this. One, first of all, let's remember, none of this technology is new. Now, the vaccine's new for the mRNA, but that thing has been around for a while. And for the DNA side of it, the Johnson & Johnson, again, been around forever and a day. Coronavirus has been around. I think was it Moderna, I think? Or BioNTech? One of the two said, yeah, we cracked this thing in like a day and a half, 2 days. It wasn't that hard. It wasn't like it was something brand new that nobody had ever seen before. But you will have people wait, and some of that is just the optics, how fast it went, which should also show you how fast things could go had government not been government and made sure that there was so many roadblocks in the way to do everything. And there's a difference between regulation and overregulation. But now we're in a position where we're doing well. And it's more than well. When you can have that many people last night, some of the pictures, it was just great to see. It was awesome to see that many people rocking and rolling. But we have a new variant.
Well, it's very important to note that this Delta variant is much more contagious than the original strain. In fact, it could be up to 60% more contagious, meaning that if you have the same interaction with somebody who has COVID-19, you are that much more likely to get it. It's really important that everybody who is unvaccinated really double down on their efforts to make sure that they are protected.
If they want to. If they want to. It's epidemiologist Anne Rimoin on the Delta variant. I'm not going to force, and I don't think we should force people to get vaccinated. That, like everything in life, so much of this is going to be an experience thing. The people that are standing back saying, oh, none of this stuff is real. So much of this will be an experience thing. But we've also got to the point where we're mitigating it. The positivity rates are so low, and life is back to normal. Now, when do we get past the stigma of certain things? Right? We're like, okay, you've tested positive for it. So if you had the flu when you went to work, people aren't really going to say anything. You probably said you shouldn't have come in today, but you get that. Now it's like one of these things where, you're asymptomatic. You feel like you're fine, but you can't do this. You can't. That's the next step in this. When are the masks coming off on planes, which is another big thing that we're those things will come sooner rather than later. I think by the end of the year, we'll have answers to a lot of those. But right now, it's time to party. It's time to have fun. It's time to go to concerts. It's time to enjoy things. Amen. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Do love hearing from every single one of you. We live in a world of insanity. I think you guys understand that. Right, you listen to the program and you hear people that are just off their rocker. This is Dr. Aruna Kalani. Probably said her name wrong, which is one of the reasons I am evil, I'm sure. That and the fact that I look like a cracker. She's been invited to talk to, Yale, things of this nature. This is crazy. See, so I can't, if you were at Yale, or Harvard, or any of these schools, they would welcome her. Like, hey, come on over. We'd like you to give a speech about how evil white people are. People are like, yeah, Ben Shapiro? No, why? Because he's evil and he's anti-Semitic. Don't think you guys understand how that works. Or he's a Nazi. Again, not understanding who Ben Shapiro is, right? Milo Yiannopoulos. Everybody, we're going to have special rooms for people who are going to be, traumatized by Milo Yiannopoulos, who, when I see him, and I've met Milo on a few occasions, I think to myself, this guy's tough. No. Listen to this insanity.
There are no good apples out there. White people make my blood boil. When you say there are no good apples out there, what kind of claim are you making?
People have this idea that racism is something that if you're consciously racist or if you're a Klan member, and I'm sort of making the claim that racism is something that is unconscious and it is actually in everyone.
So it's actually in everyone. Now, do you mean everyone, or do you only mean white people? And I think we should ask that question. Do you mean it's in everyone? And let's get racism right. Racism is power. Bigotry is people who don't have any power but have a disdain for color of somebody's skin, who they love, who they worship. But because you're saying that no, it's not even just conscious, subconsciously, right? This is it, subconsciously. By the way, this doesn't help bring people closer together. I just want to let you guys know that this doesn't do that.
Everyone uses these words systemic. They're like, I know that racism is systemic. And yet individually, when you call them out, they'll be like, well, it's not me. You can't say that. And so there's a disconnect between use of the word systemic and saying that racism is everywhere. But the moment you point it out individually, there's sort of people disown their own violence and racism.
Now, remember, Ms. Kalani here, Dr. Kalani, she also said that she had fantasies of shooting white people. The talk is entitled at Yale is going to be The Psychopathic Problem of the White Mind. And they were like, maybe we should take a step back on this. So subconsciously, and this is what we want to do, right? Like, everybody's racist, especially white people. You guys are evil, you're racist, I'm evil, racist. Everybody's evil and racist. This is all it's about. It's evil and racism. They throw it out there. It's all evil. It's all racism. And like everything else, well, are you racist? Well, no. Well, sorry. No. We're going to judge you by the color of your skin based on the entire group of people. Well, can everybody have bad thoughts about other cultures or stuff? No. Only white people. Really? So only white people can? So what does that mean? Does it mean the other people do not have free choice? People of color? They don't have free choice of thought? She's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's many lies, that the level of lying that white people do that has started since colonialism. We're just used to it. Every time that you steal a country, you loot, you say you've discovered something. This level of lie is actually part of history. We don't say that we killed all these people, we got rid of all the Native Americans. We say we discovered America.
Yeah, that's what we did. We didn't discover anything. It was here for a long time. There used to be a big bridge. People wandered over. Whoa, look at this. And by the way, the discovery of America, if you ask a lot of scientists, you go and ask them, what's one of the greatest things in the history of mankind? I was watching Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about this one day. He talked about all the things about Columbus and all the bad, all the evils, all the ills, blah, blah, blah. And then he said at the end of it, by the way, him coming to this portion of the world, it's probably the greatest thing that's ever happened. And people are like, oh my God, how can that be? Pretty simple. Before he came here, let's just say the family tree was a stick. And by discovering, if you will, or refinding or landing or whatever, and it was a discovery to them, this portion of the globe, it expanded out. So the 3 or 4 families that were here expanded, the bloodlines expanded. And so many other things did. There's no doubt that white people have done. The West has done things. If you look back, it's horrible, of course. But we live in today's world. Reliving the past isn't whatsoever fixing anything. We can look back and we can learn, which is what we should do. But to punish today's world based on sins of the past is stupid.
You don't talk about the level of what actually occurred. You wipe the slate clean, you sanitize the violence, and you actually got lost along the way. You're trying to go to India, and then you say you discovered something. And this level of discovery is everywhere. You've discovered vegetarianism. You've discovered yoga. You've discovered everything is a discovery, and it's all actually stolen.
No, it's a discovery to the people who have never seen it before. Look what we've discovered. Well, other people found it. Yeah, they don't think like that. But it's new. And again, go back to the fact that, yes, Columbus did a lot of stuff that was awful. Columbus also had a lot of cojones and did stuff that other people just wouldn't do. It's not as easy to say that he is evil and bad and didn't do anything good. There's a lot more to it. But that has nothing to do with it. The reality is living in the past and damning people in today's world for things that happened in the past doesn't move us forward. And let me tell you, it sure in the hell doesn't do. It doesn't bring us closer together, if that's your goal. But as we've talked about over and over in this day and age, it's not the goal. The goal is to make money off the division, not try to bridge the gap. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Shows your Twitter. MyPillow. Great discount, deep discounts on the MyPillow, $29.98. What do you get? You get the MyPillow, the queen size, $5 more for the king size, 60-day money-back guarantee, 10-year warranty. Hey, so you go and you put it inside the washer and the dryer. You can do that, right? That's awesome. It's never going to go flat. You're going to sleep great. You're not going to have headaches. And here's the other thing, made right here in the USA. Right now, MyPillow's deals are huge on everything. And I do mean everything, from the Giza Dream Sheets, the towels, to the amazing mattress topper and the My Slippers. Get your stuff now. Save big. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. You use that, you're a winner chicken dinner. Get the MyPillow for $29.98, $40 savings, $5 more for the king size. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
You go, boy.
This isn't about right or left. This is just about right and wrong.
Right you are, Chad. The Chad Benson Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending.
What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending?
Let us take a little peek and see what's trending, shall we? For sure, yeah. Amazon Prime Day, Google, million plus. What's out there? What can you get? So many goodies. Oh, my Lord. Summer solstice. Yesterday, summer kicked off. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. It was hot where I was, and the sun stayed out just a smidge longer. Rick and Morty trending. Yes, season 5 last night was hilarious with Mr. Nimbus. I watched it. Oh, you did? Oh, yeah, I did. It was Mr. Nimbus was hilarious. Hilarious. Head over to Twitter, where everybody just argues about everything all the time. That's what makes it fun. Dave Chappelle last night performing with the Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters also making an appearance on the trending. They played to a sold-out Madison Square Garden with no social distancing. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So nice. I'll tell you what. It was awesome. American Airlines is forced to cancel hundreds of flights this weekend due to significant staff shortages. Another reason why prices are rising. Trying to get yourself on an airplane right now is hit and miss. And has nothing to do with, yes, I'll say it, I'm going to say it, coronavirus. It has to do with whether or not you have enough pilots and staff, because as the pandemic took off, a lot of the older pilots said, we're done. We're done. Don't want to do this anymore. It's crazy. But yes, there is a shortage of pilots out there. And I don't know if, kind of scares me to think that they're going to try to rush some people through. I'm just saying. Just feels like we're going to be rushing some folks through that may not be ready. So be prepared. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Another thing trending right now. Laurel Hubbard. We're going to talk about her. Qualified for the Olympics. A lot of people say, I don't think she should have. We shall discuss. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Amazon Prime Day. Excited. Deals galore. Just looking through some of the insanity of the deals and thinking to myself, I got to probably get myself something for no reason other than the deals are huge. Do I need that? No. But does it matter? No. Why? Because it's America. We like stuff. We are consumers, man. You want to know why things would be tough for us to do certain things in certain ways? Because we like stuff so cheap. We want to consume it. We want disposable products. That's what we want. We want disposable products. Everything else in life is disposable now. Why not products? It's crazy how amazing the deals are. The deals are huge. Loving every second of it. I'm ordering something as we speak. Not going to lie to you, kids. Would not lie to you. Ordering something as we speak because the deals are massive. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from you. The Olympics get ready to kick off here. They've made a decision about people showing up at the Olympics to view said Olympics.
Late in the decision-making process, organizers finally say yes, some locals will be allowed to watch events, but there will be strings attached. Organizers have set a limit of 50% of capacity, up to a maximum of 10,000 fans for all of the Olympic venues. The decision, however, remains controversial. It contradicts the country's top medical advisor, who last week recommended that the safest way to hold the games would be without fans.
Paid a lot of money for it. Right? The excitement of people. See this thing. It's the Olympics. You paid a ton of money. People want to show up. People are worried. For a lot of people didn't trust what was going on with Japan and some of the numbers they had originally when they pushed this thing out a year, and they're looking out because the European Soccer Championships was pushed out a year, and here they are a year later, and they're going on so far without any real issues outside of a few of the things that are going on there that have nothing to do with coronavirus and all to do with racism and stuff like that, which is awful, absolutely. But as far as the coronavirus in itself, no. They are in a situation where they're doing their thing. But this Olympics is going to be different because for the first time, there is going to be a transgender athlete participating at a high level in the weightlifting world. Laurel Hubbard is her name. She qualified. She's ranked number 2 in the Oceanic area, which is, you've got Samoa and you got a lot of the islands, New Zealand, Australia and stuff. She's ranked number 2, and the only reason she's ranked number 2 is because she didn't compete in enough events. 4 years ago, Laurel Hubbard was a man. Now she's crushing records, and she's excited to be going. Not everybody is excited for her because they look at her as like, it wasn't like she was 7 and the switch was on. I mean, she had already competed at a high level as a man. And now she's competing against women.
How did you feel being able to end up on the podium?
Extremely honoured. I mean, a lot of hard work had gone into getting me to that point, but it's really a dream, I think, for any athlete to contest their sport at the highest level.
What would be your message to people out there who are saying, no, Laurel shouldn't be competing?
I think even 10 years ago, the world perhaps wasn't ready for an athlete like myself, and perhaps it's not ready now. But I got the sense, at least, that people were willing to consider me.
Yeah, not everybody's happy about it. No. Several others, including the Samoan team, who's, I'm going to say this name. The last name is Stowers. I'm going to say her name, the first name, and it's going to be something where I know I'm going to screw it up, so bear with me. Figaga Stowers says her coach is like, look, there's nothing we can do. It's not fair, but it is what it is. So to compete as a female, you have to have 10 nanomoles per liter for at least 12 months. And that was set in by the IWF. Right? So 10 nanomoles, I guess, must be very small, of testosterone. So that's what you have to have, your levels below that. And that was the the guidelines put in 2015, people are like, I don't know if people can win. I don't know if people can. Even some of her teammates were I think they were a little, should we or shouldn't we? Look, this is the world we live in. We have to learn to compete. Is it fair? I think there are sports where, a lot of it has to do with several things, right? It's combat sports. It's not fair. Let's just be honest, right? Let's not BS ourselves. In combat sports, it's just not fair. It also has to do, when did you transition? He transitioned to a she 4 years ago after already having a pretty long career on the men's side of thing at a high level, national and world level. So do I think this is fair? Probably not. I don't get to make up the rules. Do I think she's a bad guy? No. Do I think this is the world we're at? Yes. Do I think it's unfair for women? Absolutely. I do. But this is the new world.
Policies that are being put forward by organisations like the IOC and the IWF are evolving, and perhaps they may change after I've competed. But I would ask people to keep an open mind and perhaps look to the fact that I didn't win. Any advantage I may hold is not as great as they might think.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I do know that the reality is you are so much better than so many other people. Your rank is way higher. But we're going to find out what it's like. We're going to find out, I'm sure, in the next few years, what it's like when it gets to a point where somebody goes from male to female and competes at a sport that during the Olympics that everybody kind of watches, right? Whether it's somebody switching over, playing on the men's team and something, becoming a female, and now playing basketball, soccer. At that kind of level, everybody's paying attention and looking. And if that happens, let's just say, right? I was watching Chappelle the other day, and he made me laugh again. He goes, let's just say LeBron decides that he is female and wants to play in the WNBA. He's going to score 400 points a night. Then I think is when people really go, well, this isn't fair. This isn't fair. So we'll see what happens. But this is the new world, right? Like, this is the woke world, the new world. I don't think we should. It's tough because you don't want to. It's not about discriminating. It's a fair playing field. And is this a fair playing field? And I think so much of it has to do with there's nuance and context. If you would have done it 20 years ago, I think people would have less issues with it. The fact that 4 years ago you were competing at a high level and now you're female changes the thought process. But we'll see. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. SCOTUS has a lot of stuff. One of the big ones, though, that I was looking at, the antitrust, NCAA. So, 9-0. They ruled for the athletes. It's a landmark antitrust case. Essentially, it says they shouldn't have been doing what they were doing, limiting athletes' ability to get certain things like internships after graduate, internships early, getting certain things when it comes to benefits that other kids would get. Educator-related compensation, as they're calling it. Now, right now, they're trying to figure out a way to allow kids, and I think it's the right thing to do, to profit off of their likeness. You want to go sign an autograph and somebody wants to pay you $100? I had zero problems with that. The school's not involved. This is about paying the kids from the school. This is about taking your likeness and profiting on it. I know a couple weeks ago, Johnny Manziel, former Heisman Trophy winner, said, yeah, man, I made like 50, 60 grand going out and signing autographs. I got no problem. I don't know why anybody should. And think about this for a second, too. If you are a science student, so I'm fairly close with Michael Crow, who runs Arizona State University. These kids over here, these young men and women are creating all kinds of things, and the school's profiting off of it. They're getting valuable credits. But on top of that, some of them are earning money in the discovery of a lot of these things. And ASU, for those of you that used to be the joke school, is one of the premier colleges in the country now. It's wacky to say, I know, but it's nuts. We have interns here. Some of them are on scholarship. They get paid. It's nuts. And I understand the thought process is, well, you're going to pay these kids. Let's be real. That stuff goes on. Why not get it out there above board? Allow kids to profit off their likeness. Somebody wants to make a poster. They want to make a poster themselves. They want to do a YouTube channel about cooking, even though they're a punter. They should be able to make money off of it. They shouldn't have to make a choice of, well, a kid, either I got a kick and have to get rid of my YouTube channel, or that's the insanity of which we live when it comes to stuff like this. This is a first step, and there'll be more after this, but there's no doubt that the NCAA should start doing the right thing. They're profiting off these kids. They get free college. I get it. They also bring the colleges stuff, too. And many of them don't even graduate. Let's take advantage of it, the high profile, and what they bring to school, zero problems with them making a few bucks if they want to sign an autograph or open up a Subway. Hey, I'm going to go open up a Subway and they can pay me $500. All right. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Speaking of Subway, is it tuna or isn't it tuna? We shall discuss, and we've got some nature will mess you up stories. Oh, it can. Rough Greens, speaking of nature, makes every pet food better. It's all natural. It's a beautiful mixture of vegetables, vitamins, minerals, and all of these delicious things that my dogs eat up. It's a supplement, goes right on top of your dog's food. And what does it do? Brings that food to life. Gives them the things that they've been missing. The omega-3, 6, 9, probiotics, digestive enzymes. It's changed my dog's Doodle's life forever. His coat is so much better. But the most important thing is his hips don't hurt. His joints are better. He's happy. He's healthy. That'll happen for you and your dog. Try it now. Absolutely free. You pay for shipping. That's it. You pay for the shipping. You get it free. I don't know how much easier it is than that. They're putting their money where their mouth is. And that, to me, is a company that's trying to show everybody, hey, these guys, they're serious about this. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. Roughgreens.com/Chad. Call 833-MyDog-77. 833-MyDog-77. When you do that, you pay for the shipping. They send you a bag for free. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
Set Chad straight. Text the show, 323-538-2423. That's 323-538-CHAD. Someone has to do it. Might as well be you. The Chad Benson Show.
Life is good. Things are getting back to normal, which is awesome. Coronavirus in a lot of places is, people say, well, it's still here, so it's not gone. The flu's still here. Well, yeah, but what? We've been exposed to the flu for how long? We have vaccines for the flu. We have therapies for the flu. It's still here. But we don't look at it as a pandemic, do we? It's just something that's endemic. It's here. But life's getting back to normal. It's a good thing. We're enjoying ourselves more. We're having a little bit of fun. We're getting out. We're doing things. Those are great things. I love it. spending money, going places, camping, things like that. Producer Phil, speaking of camping, can you remind everybody in the audience what will nature do to you?
Nature will mess you up.
Mess you up. Case in point, young lady, family, sleeping in their little campsite. Younger girl outside hanging out. It's late at night in a hammock because it's comfortable.
After the attack, 2 bears were spotted in the area. Officials say one larger male repeatedly tried to enter the campsite despite attempts to scare it off. Rangers then shooting and killing the bear the family identified as the one responsible for the attack. Park officials saying the family of 5 properly secured their backpacks and food, as visitors are instructed to do, and unable to distance themselves from the animal, responded appropriately to this kind of black bear attack.
Yeah. She was conscious to the entire attack. She suffered some pretty gnarly lacerations, especially in her head. She's in stable condition. You think to yourself, why? This is what they're saying if you're going to go out. Black bear attacks are very rare. Hike in groups of 3, carry bear spray, comply with all back county closures, meaning if they're closing certain areas, there's a reason for that. Properly follow food storage. Remain at a safe viewing distance from bears. By the way, if you, that last one, remain at a safe viewing distance, if you're stupid enough to get up near a bear, you're stupid enough to be attacked. And as producer Phil always says, play a stupid game, win a stupid prize. That's the way I feel. We go to the other side of the world. Good eye there. Couple twins hanging out, having fun, got attacked.
I saw it coming towards us, but they move like very silently. And they look like they're moving slowly, but they're moving quick, and everything is just very quiet. I actually heard her scream, and I saw her being taken underneath and by the crocodile. And then I realized she was really in trouble when I was calling out her name, and there was no response from her.
Yes, crocs everywhere. Crocs are one of those things. Polar bears and crocs, alligators, certain animals will hunt. They got zero problems. You are food. That's it. You're slow, you're clumsy, you're easy.
The adrenaline kicked in, and I grabbed her body, I pulled it towards me, I rested her on my chest, and she was blue. So I tried to revive her, but then the crocodile came along, so I beat it off, and it went away. But then she started going into a fit, flailing her arms and legs. I think she thought it was still attacking her. And so I tried to calm her down, and then it came back. That's when I sustained actually the most injuries, because it grabbed her on the leg and her behind and tried to death roll her and drag her away.
Yeah, that death roll's nasty. That's when the bones get broken. That's when things get severed. Awful. But she did save her sister's life. Australia, Florida, some of the Carolinas. There's a body of water, especially later in the afternoon at night. You always shine your light to see what's peering at you. And sometimes you think, I think I'm going to stay away from this billabong. Oh, yeah. Not a bad thing to do, kids. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Live music back in full force at Madison Square Garden Sunday night here in New York City with Foo Fighters performing My Hero to a sold-out full-capacity crowd. The first concert there since March of 2019. Now the event not without its detractors, as several groups outside protested the Garden's strict COVID vaccination policy to get into the show. Meanwhile, inside, highlights included a sneak peek at the band's new Bee Gees tribute album and a surprise appearance from comedian Dave Chappelle performing Radiohead's Creep.
Life is good. Back to normal. But, Chad, those people, they were there and everybody was vaccinated. I know there's controversy around that. Ricky Schroeder made sure that we all knew that. But, Ricky Schroeder does because he's born with a silver spoon in his mouth. No, look, that's a them thing. Do I think it's silly? Yeah, at this point I do, but I'm not going to argue with people, right? It's your choice, your band. Madison Square Garden agreed to it. That's their gig. That's fine. I'm not going to sit here and that's. But we're back. There was no social distancing. It was all good, and I like that. That's happening more and more. I go back about a month and a half, 2 months ago. You had the Canelo Alvarez fight at Jerry's World out there at Cowboy Stadium. It was almost 75,000 people, give or take. There was no super spread event. That's awesome. We are back. And that is amazing. Back to doing a lot of stuff that we used to do. We're not fully back. Some states are still a little bit behind, but California is like, all right, we're doing this, and they've done it. And when you see where the rest of the world is, you realize that through all the insanity, we've moved ahead. Through all the insanity, we've stepped ahead. Through all the insanity, we have jumped ahead of everybody else. Well, some places eliminated. Some places are a small island where you can't leave. And every time there is something that goes on, they shut the entire place down. Easy to control. We are not that. We have a different kind of liberty than a lot of other places do. But we're back. Now, are we want to be, according to the administration?
President Biden said 70% of American adults by July 4th. He will miss that.
Well, look, the administration set a stretch goal, and they're going to miss it by a little. I think as a practical matter from a public health standpoint, it's not going to have an impact whether we hit 68% or 70%. The reality is we are vaccinating a large portion of the American population. We have to remember where we started and where we are right now. It took us a full month to fully vaccinate the 1.34 million residents of nursing homes. In the next 5 months, we vaccinated 300 million people. We delivered 300 million vaccines.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. We're there. We're rocking it. We've come a long way. I think we'll see a real lull for a couple months, and maybe we'll see a push come the end of the summertime, heading into fall, kids going back to school. We may see a push. We may not. We're still trying to figure out, when does this thing wear off? If you've had it, how long is your immunity? Depending on who you talk to, depending on what site you're looking at, what scientist has written a paper, it could be for a year, it could be forever. So there's still a lot to play out, but we are now living above it. This thing first started, and it got to the point where it became a pandemic, and you saw that it was going to have an effect on us as a nation and the globe. In order to how to live with this thing, through this thing, and around this thing, now we're living above it. And that is huge. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Speaking of huge, it's a huge day. Huge.
They're offering millions and millions of sales. Amazon alone is offering more than 2 million sales. Then, of course, Target is offering hundreds of thousands of sales. They're online only, so that's interesting to know about Target. Walmart is promising Black Friday level deals.
Massive deals today. Today, it's Prime Day. Lots of hours left. What can you get on Prime Day? What's the big thing people are looking at?
Things that you need for your home, those regular things that you order every month, or something you've had your eye on that's a little bit above your budget, maybe a good time to look at those things as well. So what I would really suggest is that consumers create a list of things that they need, those basics, and then also maybe some gifts that they have coming up, and then tackle the sales in that way.
So I've been looking at the amazing deals that are available right now, and I will just tell you this. There are some deals that are just insane. All right? They're just crazy. The amount of deals that you can get, especially on the electronic sides of things. The electronic side of things, I'm just like, man, I cannot believe how cheap some things are now. Like, they're throwaways, I guess, at this point in time. But it is, because you get them, and it's like, if they break, you just throw them away. Like, that's like televisions. I mean, you get televisions so cheap. $129 for a 32-inch Toshiba. And it's a smart TV. It's a smart TV. You're like, oh, yeah, I could put that. Might as well put that one in the bathroom. But that's just nuts. It's crazy. How can you not? How can you not go out there? Now, if you think, well, they've got all kinds of deals, but can you get more deals? Kids, I tell you, you can. According to this lady, you can get more deals.
Don't take a sale price at face value. So as you're going online or in the stores and you find something that's on sale, use a savings tool to see if you can save even more. Like cash back is one of my favorite ways to save this way. There's a site called couponcabin.com, and they have cash back plus maybe extra exclusive discounts that will be unique to them on these days.
You get tablets for $79. You're like, oh, wait, what? Yeah, want a tablet? $79. Like, that's just crazy. Lenovo IdeaPad 12-inch Chromebook laptop, $189. This is it. This is why we love. This is why it's tough for us as a consuming nation to say, oh, let's bring all the jobs home, because we don't want to pay anymore, right? Like, we want all the jobs to come home. We don't want to be dependent on other nations. And in doing so, we still want to be able to pay the same freight that we're paying now, right? Like, that's it. I don't want to pay anymore. I like the fact that you can stock them deep and sell them cheap. I like the fact that you can, and that's most people. So most people are willing to say, well, I don't like the fact that it's made in China. I don't like the fact that it's made there. But if you say, well, we could bring it home, but your iPhone now is going to cost you, for the lower tier, $1,700, you'd be like, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if a phone's worth that. Even though some of them people are already paying, or that your computer that you get now, your laptop for $800 is going to cost you $1,500. People might say, that, especially in these kind of things. The want things are the consumer things. The need things are already going up in price. We've got issues right now with inflation. We have issues right now with skyrocketing prices. Some of them are part of what took place last year and a carry-on effect. Other parts of them are going to have to be dealt with by this administration. Can Biden do any of those things? But inflation is rising.
You see it throughout the economy right now, and the big problem that I see is that the inflation seems to be accelerating from where we were a couple of months ago. Some of those increases in gasoline prices, in meat prices, in food prices. I tried to get an airline ticket last week to take a summer vacation later this summer, and I saw sticker shock. I mean, prices had gone up by 50%.
Yeah. Stephen Moore, former advisor to the Trump administration. Now, not all of that is because fuel prices are up. Fuel prices are up for a lot of different reasons. Some areas of the country, it's they got a special blend, and because of the special blend, it costs more money. Other parts of the country, they've had, we had the Colonial Pipeline nightmare that took place. But then you also have to factor in the fact that getting it from point A to point B, we don't have pipelines, right? The pipelines go to a certain area, the trucks come, they get filled up, then they take them and disperse throughout there. And last year, with the collapse of the economy and nobody driving, a lot of those drivers who carry the fuel from point A to point B, they went out of business. So there's a lot that goes into it. But how Biden reacts will say a lot. How Biden reacts, because at the end of the day, you're the guy in charge. So at the end of the day, people are looking at you. They're saying, all right, what are you doing to fix this? Can't blame the other guy. You'll blame the other guy, because the other guy blamed the other guy, and the other guy blamed the other guy, and the other guy blamed the... How are you going to handle this? That's it. And so much of it and how he handles it will be a reflection on what takes place next year when you have midterms. Because if we're sitting in a situation where it still feels like it's 1977, a la Jimmy Carter, we're paying way too much and getting less than we did before, people are going to say, I think we need to move away from the Democrats onto the Republicans in the House and the Senate.
Gas 56%, used cars 30%, laundry 27%, airfare 24%. There are signs it's real.
This is a real hardship for lower and middle income people and seniors who are living on fixed incomes. I call it the Biden tax.
And it's going to be landing at your feet. Can't blame it all on him, but how you react, that's going to be telling as we move forward. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from you. Raycon, best earbuds around. Love my Raycons. I do. So you're going to buy Raycon.com/Chad. You save right there extra 15%. Everyday earbuds. They got several different kinds, but I will tell you right now, there is nothing better than having these earbuds on. There's nothing better than throwing these things on right now and just it is incredible. Right now, you go to buyraycon.com/Chad. You can save big, huge. They're going to give you an extra saving on top of everything. Limited time offer start well under $100, almost $40 under $100 right now. That's nuts. What do you get? Earbuds that are incredible. They have an amazing soft gel tip that makes the noise isolating fit second to none. You can fully charge your earbuds 4 times. So what that means is your case that you carry around is an actual charging case. You charge it up. You continue to put your earbuds back in there. Continues to charge up the earbuds. That's awesome. It's amazing, incredible. No wires, no stems, different colors. I've got a pair of the white ones. They're so cool. People like looking at them, but it's awesome. Get yours now. Save big. Huge. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. Don't miss this opportunity. The best earbuds around. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
Welcome to Chad. No, not the country. The institution. The Chad Benson Show.
In a concurring opinion, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who coaches high school basketball and who tried out for the basketball team at Yale and didn't make it, has pretty strong feelings on this. He said, nowhere else in American business can a company get away with agreeing not to pay their workers a fair market rate on the theory that their product is defined by not paying their workers a fair market rate. The NCAA is not above the law.
Yep, so the NCAA lost kinda today when it comes to certain compensation that the athletes can make. There are certain things that are just ridiculous. And the big question, though, is the likeness question, which they're trying to work out, I think, by the sounds of it, on their own.
The justices did not take on the big question, which a lot of people are arguing about. Should college athletes just be paid a salary? They work incredibly hard. They make lots of money for a lot of colleges and universities. Shouldn't they get some salary, some amount of money? The court didn't reach that because they were only addressing a lower court opinion. College athletes had sued the NCAA saying these limits on education-related expenses aren't fair. And that's as far as they went.
Yeah. The likeness thing, though, they know they're probably going to lose based on this. So I think the NCAA at some point in time will probably allow kids, as they should, to earn dollars off their likeness. There's no reason why a kid who you recruit heavily to come to your school that may give you a chance at earning your team a national championship, but doesn't have the money to buy his own jersey with his name on it in the team apparel shop. That's nuts. He wants to sign an autograph and somebody wants to pay him $500. I know there's going to be some nefariousness around there. Well, you know what? I'd rather have it out in front than not. Allow them to take loans against their future. Whatever that's available, I got zero problems with. Hell, the NCAA may be smart. Allow them to take loans against their future, maybe to help out their family, may keep them in school a little bit longer. Maybe that's part of the deal. You want to take out a loan? Gives you $200,000. Got to stay through 3 or 4 years. You're going to go be an NBA star, NFL star, baseball star. Nowhere else do you have this. If you go to school today, right? So let's say my son gets a scholarship for science. We'll say something funny like that for science, right? So he gets that. He can go, and if he wants to start a band or a YouTube channel, he can make money off of it. I'm not stopping him. Not taking a scholarship away. if he gets a job, say, being a punter, a kicker for a team or a quarterback, and he's got a YouTube channel that makes him money, and it could be about something like him juggling or him cooking or him and his friends just doing silly stuff, and people like it, he's got to shut that down. That, to me, is insane. That is ridiculous. There's no way that should happen. But that's what's been happening. They want close control over their employees. And yes, they get a benefit of going to school, but we never talk about all the benefits that all the other kids get when they get scholarships to go to school and still manage to live their life, make money, and work outside of there. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Wanted to touch on it earlier. I'm going to do it next. The controversy of tuna. Is it tuna in Subway sandwiches? Is it not tuna in their sandwich? We have some results. The findings may shock you. Or they might not. You don't know. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
More signs things are getting back to normal.
On Sunday, close to 2.2 million people went through airport security checkpoints in the U.S., according to the TSA. That continues a trend during the pandemic of Sundays being the busiest travel days. That nearly 2.2 million is the highest number seen since the start of the pandemic and only 23% lower than on the same day in 2019.
Yep. Things are getting back. Sold out concert last night. The Foo Fighters, Madison Square Garden, rocking and rolling. Chappelle showing up, doing Radiohead's Creep with him. It was awesome. I know there's controversy because they didn't want people who were unvaccinated there. It's just good to see people back doing stuff. Sporting events. Western Conference Finals yesterday, packed here, Phoenix Suns Arena. Suns took a 1-0 lead on the Clippers. It's just great to see that all the while you go and look, and the Olympics is a hot mess. It's not going to be, I don't know who's going to, they said they're going to have like 10,000 spectators that are only going to be from Japan. So if your kid's in the Olympics this year, the chance of you going to see your kid is slim to none, which is, it sucks. Let's be real. Because especially if your kid's like a shot putter or something like that, you're not going to see it. It's like, you just don't. It's your once in your lifetime thing, and this is what it is. But we are so far ahead of the game, and that is delicious. I love it. One thing that's going on crazy in our country, and I'll tell you this, I find it to be absurd. It's critical race theory. Education to me is important. I think there's a lot of ways you can get education. One of the things about education, though, is I think nowadays education is slanted in such a bizarre way, especially by the intelligentsia and the liberal groupthink of insanity that's out there. Critical race theory to me is well, Ted, tell us. Ted Cruz, ladies and gentlemen.
Just this week on Capitol Hill, I had a reporter run up to me. He thought he had a gotcha. He said, "Hey, what's critical race theory?" Apparently, he thought I would turn to him and say, "Gosh, I have no idea. I think it's really bad, but I just don't know what it is, because, conservatives are morons and we don't know what we're talking about." And I explained to him, I said, well, it's a theory that derives from Marxism. Karl Marx viewed the entire world as a conflict between classes, between the owners of capital and the working man and women, the proletariat, a fundamental battle in society. Critical race theory takes that same Marxist concept, except it replaces class with race.
Yeah, pretty much spot on. Now, to me, I find it to be nuts, and I'll tell you why, because the money that's in this thing's huge, but who's designing these things and the thought process that goes into it is the issue I have with it. Not whether or not we teach the history, don't whitewash it, right, as they would say. But we teach the history. And that includes how far we've come. That includes the advances that we've made. We do not deem one group superior and the other group inferior and essentially say that this group over here will always have more than this group over here just because, which a lot of times some of this stuff can have. And like anything, it's also who teaches it. But it is crazy. I've seen some of the stuff, especially with my little brothers, and the things they were supposed to do. My mom's like, we're not doing this. Sorry. You know, especially my little brother, Elijah. He's got bigger issues. He's got bigger issues than this right now with learning to read and write and struggling with his issues that he has, thanks to my sister, who, for all of her abuse of her body, left him with serious issues, especially certain disorders, that it's a trying thing. He doesn't need this. But this is where we are.
Critical race theory says every white person is a racist. It says all of America and all of the world is a battle between the races. Critical race theory says America is fundamentally racist and irredeemably racist. Critical race theory seeks to turn us against each other, and if someone has a different color skin, seeks to make us hate that person.
No, that's not true. You don't think so? Dr. Aruna Kalani. All right, Dr. Aruna Kalani. She was the doctor that was in a speech at Yale, talks about her fantasies of shooting a bunch of white people. Remember, people that profit off this, you have to have the boogeyman. The boogeyman right now is the West, in particular, white people in the West.
There are no good apples out there. White people make my blood boil. When you say there are no good apples out there, what kind of claim are you making?
People have this idea that racism is something that if you're consciously racist or if you're a Klan member, and I'm sort of making the claim that racism is something that is unconscious and it is actually in everyone.
So it's actually in everyone. Like everyone or just white people? Well, that's why. This is a woman who was going to go speak at Yale. This is a woman who's been invited to speak at colleges. All the while they say, well, if Milo Yiannopoulos shows up, or if Steven Crowder shows up, or if Candace Owens shows up, you guys better run because those people are dangerous. This is insane. It is insane, insane, insane.
And let me tell you right now, critical race theory is bigoted, it is a lie, and it is every bit as racist as the Klansmen in white sheets.
Is he right? Is he? Like, there's something to some of this stuff. Let's go back last week. Illinois dad, Ty Smith, talking about critical race theory. He's a dad. He's black. In a room where they're having a discussion amongst parents about this subject.
When you talk about critical race theory, which is pretty much going to be teaching kids how to hate each other, how to dislike each other, it's pretty much what it's going to all come down to. You're going to deliberately teach kids, this white kid right here got it better than you because he white? You're going to purposely tell a white kid, oh, the black people are all down and suppressed. How do I have 2 medical degrees if I'm sitting here oppressed? How did I get, first of all, stand up, 2 medical degrees, no mom, no dad in the house, worked my way through college, sat there and hustled my butt off to get through college. You gonna tell me somebody that looked like all y'all white folks kept me from doing that? Are you serious?
He doesn't seem thrilled with it. I've talked to a lot of black parents who aren't thrilled with it. Feel like there is a division-putting program in place. And again, it's in some ways it's how you teach it. We shouldn't hide from the past. But now it's like we only want to acknowledge the sins of the past. And by the way, because of those sins of the past, the people in this room and the people that are alive today who did not participate in any of that, you will pay for those sins. Well, that's not true. It is true. It is absolutely true. We can learn. Absolutely. But let's teach it all, not just portions of it.
Why not wanting critical race theory in the classroom is racist? I'd love to explain it. So critical race theory talks about how the systems that we have, the laws that we have, how all of those are designed to oppress people groups. Things like mass incarceration, the prison industrial system, the military industrial system, all of those are used to oppress people groups.
All right, it's all used. Look, were some of these laws put in place? Absolutely. Let's not BS this. Let's talk about it for real. Let's talk about it for real. Some of them were put in place. Stop runaway slaves, to do certain things. But when you start to break it down and where we've gone, once again, we've come forward to a situation where we're dealing in reality, not retro world. Nobody likes crime except for certain big cities. But when you see some of these things being taught and you see it's not about the system, it becomes about the skin. Now, not every place is teaching the same thing. Yeah, you want to talk about the systemic racism? I got zero problems with that. Now, you do it at certain levels, right? You're not teaching a 7-year-old the same thing, you're going to be teaching a 17-year-old. You talk about the differences. But it becomes activism in the classroom. And that's something I don't think we need any of.
By teaching this in the classroom, we can show our kids what systems need to be challenged and thought about differently. Racism isn't going to be fixed by me going down to a kid right here and saying, hey, buddy, you really need to be nicer to that kid over there, even though they look a little bit different than you.
Really? So that's not going to help? No, it's not going to help. First of all, it starts at home. Nobody's born coming out of their mom's womb going, and I hate Jews, or I hate black people, or I hate white people, or I hate... Oh, yeah, because if you're a human being, you can have a disdain for anybody, regardless of color. It's a global thing. Let's be real about that. And these are things that need to be talked about. These are things that need to be discussed. Because our kids, I have kids in classrooms right now, well, not today because it's summertime, who are going through these things. Who are learning, who are coming home asking questions that are bizarre. Who are looking around at their friends and thinking like they're getting pitted against one another.
We can dismantle racism by dismantling systems of oppression, not by being nice to people. When you don't want to teach future generations about how these systems were designed to oppress people, you're taking the side of the oppressor and being racist.
Zero problems with it. Let's talk about it. But let's talk about where we were and how we got to where we got to. Where we were and how we've grown. Where we were and where we are and where we're going to be in the future. Not about, let's get stuck in the past, let's blame everything on the past and act as if we haven't moved forward. There's a huge issue with so much of this. I love the fact that my son's growing up in the most diverse time in our history. And it's awesome. It is incredible. It truly is. It's great. His friends, his best friends, people of color. Those are his best friends in the world. And those kids are awesome. And it is great. And his friends love him. And not because he's white, but because he's a good kid. And they love each other because they're all best friends and they're growing up together and it's organic and it's real. Some of the stuff is the burden they're putting on some of these kids and the way, again, not everything's the same, but the way that they teach a lot of this crap is far more activism than it is education. And when you separate the way that they're doing and the whole thought process of it should be about who you are as a human being, and if you want to see what's going on in the world of racism, non-racism, or bigotry, so much of that begins at home. You could teach it all day in your classroom, no matter what you want to teach. But a lot of that begins at home. How many of you out there are like, oh, I'm super racist? Probably very, very few of you even have a nasty thought. But they would make you think that everything you think is bad. Subconsciously and consciously. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, the Big Tuna. So Subway, for those of you guys don't know, is being sued. Because people say there's no tuna in said Subway sandwiches. Now, is that true? Is that true? Because there's a big lawsuit. Well, we have the results. They sent a sandwich in. The Washington Post, along with several others, has tried to do their own research when it comes to sandwiches, in particular the meats on said things. We have the results. We have quite a few results here. We shall discuss these things. And something else we'll discuss about how many things are tuna. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. MyPillow. Let's talk about MyPillow. First of all, made in the USA. How amazing is that? We're just talking about all the stuff going on with Amazon, right? Like, what's going on with Amazon? Well, Amazon, super deep discounts on everything. But where's 99.99% of that stuff made? It's not made here. With MyPillow, it's made right here in the U.S. of A. That is awesome. What do you get? You get the best products around. Great material. And yes, the thing that started it all, the MyPillow, is now $29.98. It's a $40 saving. It's king size, $5 more. 6-day money-back guarantee, 10-year warranty, withstands washing and drying, never go flat while you sleep. Lowest price ever. On top of that, deep discounts on everything from the Giza Dream Sheets to the My Slippers to the towels and the mattress toppers and so much more. Click on the radio listener square at mypillow.com. Enter promo code Benson or call 800-983-4975. 800-983-4975. Get your premium MyPillow today for only $29.98. $5 more for a king size. Promo code Benson at mypillow.com. Chad Benson Show.
Check out our Chad Benson Show Facebook page where you can hang out or hang your grievances out to dry. This is Chad Benson.
Is it tuna or is it not tuna, as they would say in English? Subway has over 40,000 restaurants. Oh, my God, that is the most restaurants in the whole wide world. That's just incredible. 40,000. In fact, Grubhub once calculated the average distance between a Subway and Manhattan about 1,200 feet or 4.5 blocks. Now, that was several years ago. Still, they're everywhere. I think we know that. So, one of the big things, though, is people have sued. Said, hey, this isn't tuna in your tuna sandwich. It's not tuna. No, it's not. What is it? Well, that's just it. Jimmy John's sends email blasts out with tuna sandwiches should be used real tuna. Of course they should. So what's the real tuna? Apparently there's a ton of tunas. 15 species of nomadic saltwater fish that can be labeled as tuna. So people have done analysis on this. Here are the lab results. It's very interesting. Are you ready? So, several organizations have done tests. Inside Edition took 3 Subway locations in Queens, sent out tuna sandwiches. Lawsuits have claimed we've sent out tuna sandwiches labs as well. One of them, it says no amplified tuna DNA was present in the sample that we obtained. Therefore, we cannot identify said species. Spokesperson said there are 2 conclusions. Heavily processed, that whatever you could pull out, you could make any identification, or we got some and there's just nothing there that's tuna. We just got something. Inside Edition, on the other hand, when they sent out their 3 to 3 separate labs, they said, nah, it says it's tuna. Now, is it skipjack, yellowfin? They don't say. But when you go to Subway, you're going to eat fresh. It may be fresh, but is it fresh tuna? That I couldn't tell you. But does it taste good? Maybe, for some. I like to see myself make the tuna because I don't trust other people. It's weird. It's the only fish I'll eat, but I got to make it. They can only be tuna fish from a can because I'm weird. Have a blessed rest of your day. We'll do it again tomorrow. As always, night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.